Hey everybody, I'm Chelsea and welcome to my YouTube video. I just had something come through today and I just thought I'd share it. The thing is, I think so many people right now, especially with the whole COVID thing, being locked up, we're really being forced to reevaluate who we are, what we want to be, what we want to do. And honestly, I'm with you. For all of my life, my identity has been tied up in my career. And when we had to shut down the salons for COVID, I was screwed. And I realized after copious amounts of crying and a few pints of Ben and Jerry's, I realized I've really defined myself by my career my whole life. And I think that a lot of us heart-centered, empathic, but also kind of ambitious people tend to really kind of figure out, well, I want to help people. I want to be a heart-centered person. I want to be this intuitive, this creative, this, and, then we're told that, well, that won't make money. Well, who's going to pay for that? Well, okay, fine, but what's your niche? And it's tough for a lot of us, isn't it? A lot of us people who really just want to reach out and want to help, and we want to do it in a heart-centered way, and not to say that surgeons and doctors and lawyers aren't helping people in a heart-centered way, but for those of us who don't know exactly where to begin and don't want to really enter the mainstream of the career world, what does that leave us? And so, yeah, I came to a realization today that what you want to do is probably what you already are. Now, granted, it may never end up being a career, or vice versa. If you really want to cut people open and, replug some things in and sew them back up and make them better, please be a professional surgeon. I'm not saying that it's wrong either way, but there are some of us who, I always wanted to be a professional artist. No, not really. I can't even say that. But you go into museums and you think, my God, I wish I could paint like that. My God, I wish I could be this brilliant sculptor or this brilliant, speaker, this Tony Robbins of a person that just changes people's lives in 30 minutes of just yapping at them. And you think, my God, I wish I could do that. And then you gotta come to a crossroads. Here's the thing, I always wanted to be a writer. When I was 5, I was that annoying little kid who was writing stories where everybody else was coloring. And believe me, it got real old with my friends real quick. I guess there's a little bit of a blowhard in all of us writers who just think that we can set the world on the proper axis with just a few well-chosen words, but we can. This all came to me while I was writing, and another thing that's been calling to me is doing a YouTube video. So, welcome guys, this is my first YouTube video, and here you go. If it never gets seen, I still made one, and that's pretty cool. But the thing is, I have always written. It's just been how I worked things out. Even when I was working in an office job, if my boss said that we had to figure something out, I had to take out a notepad and start scribbling down words and start organizing my thoughts in words on paper. Some people have to draw it. Some people really just have to take a moment and close their eyes and feel it. Some people are more scientific. Some people have to take things apart and analyze it. Some people are mechanical. There's all these different ways that we can be what we are. But the fact is, if there's something that you want to be, that you desperately, deeply want to be, then you're probably already it. Now that's not to say that I wish I could paint like a mofo. I wish I could just be this great person who could just take some abstract idea and put it onto a 2D thing and make it this amazing thing that gets shown. And quite honestly, I'm not. And I could be, but the thing is, I've signed up for 15 Udemy classes for how to draw, and I've looked at maybe about 2.5 of them. I'm talking like 2.5 of the lessons, not even 2.5 of the courses. And I quit. And I had to kind of come to realize that, what is that wish? Is that wish really my deepest desire? No. I don't have it in me I don't have the interest in me to follow through. It's great to think, my gosh, wouldn't it be great if, I was a famous, just a famous light worker and healer that could just do all these amazing healings. Matt Kahn is amazing and an idol of mine, but I don't have that in me. Not to say that in a down way, I'm just saying that is very much his calling, and it's not mine. And as much as I say, gosh, I wish I could just heal people like that. I wish I could sit there, talk about these amazing universal concepts, and put forth energy in the way that he does. I can't. I'm not. I'm Chelsea, and I love it. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, sometimes we get caught up in what we wish we were, when it's not really us. There's a lot of things I wish. There's a lot of things I wish, gosh, I wish I was a famous Broadway actress. No, I don't. I wish it, but I also don't want it and desire it enough to sit there backstage just hoping that, this audition goes well, because, if I don't, then I don't have a job. I don't want desperately enough to be on stage and give my gift to the world that I'm willing to sit through auditions and costumes and late nights and repeating the same, all of those things. And I think we all kind of go through something like that, where we look at somebody else's life and we go, gosh, I wish I could do that. And aspiration is wonderful. And I think inspiration is what we're getting from that. I think we're getting that, like, but do we really want what that other person has? Not usually. And if we do, then chances are we're already doing it, whether we know it or not. But I think it's that inspiration, that I wish, that thing, all that's there to do, guys. All of that I wishness is just there to inspire what we really want in ourselves. It's there to awaken that excitement of, gosh, all this gift, all of this stuff that I have in me is pouring out. And we're seeing it in other people, and we're seeing it in their performances. We're seeing it in their actions, in, what they're doing for the world. Some of us might look at this amazing doctor and just think, my God, I wish I could do what you do. Well, that doctor wanted it so bad that he was doing it. He or she was probably already doing it, and already figuring out how to heal people, and already they were the ones who actually did the homework, and who did the, I'm sorry, my cat is investigating my light. But that's it. There's so many things that we say we wish we could do, and there's so many pre-planned career options that we say, yeah, I want to do that, but I'd love to challenge that. I'd love to challenge all of us to really take a look at what we think we want, what we think we wish, and do we really want it? Do we really wish it? Because if it was in us to want it, we are capable of it. The joys of motherhood. She keeps knocking down my light. I'm so sorry, guys. And I wish you could see the cat right now, because otherwise I look like a crazy person. But what is in us is something that we have the capacity to do. I personally have no desire to be an accountant. None whatsoever. If you're an accountant, God bless you. You are amazing, and you are a wonderful person who is helping the rest of us get through life. It ain't me. And none of me wants to be that. And so it's not even that there's that physical limitation. If I really, really wanted to, I could learn math, I could learn finances, I could learn how taxes work, I could learn all of it, but I just don't wanna. So I'd love to ask you guys to take a minute, write it down, draw it out, doodle it out, take a moment and meditate. Meditation is awesome for this kind of thing because this is where all these crazy, kooky ideas are coming from that just feel so true and feel so peaceful to just relax and say, okay, yeah, that maybe it's not all that hard. Maybe it doesn't have to be this hard. You know, but anyway, I challenge all of us to really evaluate what we think we want versus what we've been told that we want versus what we really think that we should want versus what we actually want. And when we get down to that bottom of the list, I think we're going to find out that what we want is, told you, what we want is at the core of who we are. And chances are it's already coming through you. Whether you know it or not, if it is your highest calling to be an actor or an actress or a performer in any way, chances are you're already doing it. Chances are you are that person in the office who's making everybody laugh or who's, throwing out little dramatic jokes just to lighten the mood and just to bring people some joy in the monotony. People who don't want to act aren't doing that. People who don't want to act are sitting at their desk going, yeah, she's great, she's entertaining, but I wouldn't do it. If you're a dancer, you might not have ever graced the floor because that's something that you've been told or you've assumed that you just shouldn't want or shouldn't be, or maybe you made a fool of yourself your first time and people laughed and you thought, well, that's it, I'm not. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. If it calls to you, if there is something that calls to you, that is what you are. And so many of us, I don't mean that in the job title, I don't mean to go around saying, well, I'm, a YouTuber now. But it called to me, so I did it. And I think you kind of have to at some point. And but it doesn't mean that it ever has to become your career, which is something that I struggle with, guys. I even am struggling with saying that out loud right now, is what you are does not have to be your career. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Maybe you are that parent who who tells your kids stories and actually writes your own child's stories. Maybe you're not reading out of a book, maybe you're reading out of a little notebook that you scribble down, or you're telling them stories made up out of your head, and that kid is going to grow up thinking, my God, my mom, my dad used to tell me these amazing stories. And you've impacted a life. And it's really, really difficult for some of us who don't fit into the corporate world, or for some of us who have been jolted out of our nice, cushy careers and our nice, cushy titles. Some of us have been thrown violently out of those because of everything going on in 2020. And it's really forced us to evaluate who we are and what we want to do. And maybe your next calling is not to focus on your career. And maybe to let it sit for a minute of who you are and what you want to do and what you're already doing. Are you already writing? Are you already painting? Are you already speaking? Are you already counseling people? Are you that person that people just kind of come to and can say anything to, and you're like, yeah, and they always leave with going, huh, you're right. Anyway, the thing is, if you have the interest, you have the capacity to do it. And if you've started down the rabbit trail, the breadcrumb trail, whatever, if you've started down it and you just don't really feel like continuing it, then that's probably not really what you want. that's probably something that somebody's told you that you want, or something that you thought was a good idea to want. I thought I wanted to be a physical therapist. No, no. Stupid idea for me. Wonderful idea for somebody who wants to be a physical therapist. I cannot do it, and I couldn't even get through the first class of prerequisites. And it wasn't that I wasn't intellectually capable, it wasn't that I wasn't willing to work, I just wasn't willing to work for that. So I guess that's the thing, is in this time when we're all just kind of still up in the air and still having to reevaluate our careers, our life paths, and what really fulfills us, especially with, for us in the States, it's, we're trying to figure out where we lie morally, what we agree with as far as politicians go. And so I guess my ask for you guys is to take a moment to yourself, take a half hour, and write, draw, meditate, feel, pray, think, tinker with something scientific. Just do whatever you do naturally to be calm or to be in a peaceful and happy state. Whatever you do that or if you've gotten to the point where you don't remember what you enjoy doing anymore. Some of us are there. I was in a toxic relationship, and I was there for 8 years. I had forgotten what I enjoyed doing. So if that's the case, then just sit in stillness. Sit in stillness and just really ask yourself what you're already doing. Ask yourself what you want. And ask yourself what you think you want. And ask yourself if those two are the same. And if they're not, then ask yourself what you're doing right now. Even if you're just sitting, you can answer yourself, I am sitting down. And that's all you need right now. So if you are stressing like I was at the beginning of this, and still do from time to time, I still experience stress of, oh gosh, what happens if the salon closes again? What am I gonna do? Is this time for a career? I don't know. I truly don't. All I know is something told me to record a video today, and I offer it to you. And whoever's listening, whoever's watching, thank you. And know that you already have everything you need. You do. And I love you, and thank you for your time and your trust and your energy, and sending you love wherever you are. And I'll see you next time.